Well, good morning, everybody. John's back on Zero Dark 30. I tell you what, I have enough of my head on my shoulders to see that we've got some funny, weird, crazy stuff going on. Are you prepared to deal with what is happening? Folks blasting out of the bunker. If you're up as early as I am, and sometimes you guys are, there's some interesting thoughts that we can have. So today, my question, when I saw the news headlines, middle of the night, some new headlines came in. I was like, okay, were we wrong or were we not? And what I'm talking about is, are these protesters just kind of melting away? These pro-Democrat, even though they hate Democrats, left-wing, even though they're supported by right-wing fascists, these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian punks have decided to go away, or have they not? We were saying, look, they're not getting much traction. No one really supports them. Washington, D.C. won't do anything. Democrats can't do anything. Because that's just who they are. They're a bunch of numbskulls. Anyways, here we are. What is happening? Well, I thought these protesters are not getting away with it. The police are arresting them, coming down on them. They're not spreading their hate and violence. Well, was I wrong? What, have we just not given them enough time to become the absolute tyrannical animals that we anticipated? And that may be the case. Let's go over some of the facts. In an effort to stop the violence, the Biden administration tried making a peace treaty with a terrorist organization that was willing to send its murderous thugs across a border to kill young women, kidnap them, kill babies, kill women, kill old men, rape women, etc. They did that all on their own. And so the consequence is Israel is destroying them all. Well, the Biden administration is getting a lot of heat because the United States government sends a lot of support to Israel in the form of financial assistance, business dealings, etc. So the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian terrorists have been making all manner of demands with the White House, trying to make things better. So all these kids will get protesting. I mean, what do they expect? They expect the United States military to go in and destroy Israel for these terrorists? Yeah. And they still wouldn't be happy. They really, folks, they wouldn't be happy. You cannot mollify terrorists. So Biden makes a deal with them, though. He says, okay, terrorists, Israel's going to stop, and we'll stop giving them money. And then we can have peace. Well, that didn't work. Israel said no. Like, really, what's in it for Israel? To give the terrorists a chance to rest, recover, recruit, recycle, retrain, and then re-attack when they're ready? That's what they do, folks. They call for peace. Okay, we'll be good terrorists, and they stop. Israel knows better. And there's nothing in this peace treaty for them. In fact, for them, it was a loser. They'll lose United States government funding. Right? It was a negative deal for them. So they told the U.S. government, the Joe Biden administration, pound sand. No peace. We're going to go in and continue to attack terrorists who have sworn to kill us and wipe us off the face of the earth from the river to the sea. Right? They want cute little poems. There you go. So, yeah, that happened. Now, back to America, right? Back to America, where the pro-terrorist supporters are screaming and yelling. Well, at George Washington University in, Washington, D.C., at GW, guess what? The kids are not disbanding and going away and dispersing. Now, the terrorists there, and remember, terrorists are getting, kind of mingled into the crowds, Are these Joe's illegals? Well, the school there, George Washington University, they're losing their minds. That would be the president or the dean and the trustees and the board, basically all the school administrators. The pro-Hamas student protesters are now threatening to cut off the heads of school administration, trustees, etc. They're threatening beheadings, folks. That is not protesting. That is fucking terrorist threats. So I guess I was wrong. Or maybe I wasn't patient enough letting these terrorists go from just screaming and yelling to actual threats of murder. Here we are. Here we are. They're not just going to go away. Were we wrong? We could have been. Now, the difference is with the St. George Floyd riots. That's right, St. George. With those riots, they came out the gates really fast, as if the BLM movement was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then they sprung it. Bam, and they went off violence right off the bat. They went absolutely apeshit instantly. And then they kept up that violence for months because they were encouraged and allowed and funded and supplied, etc. Well, here we are, folks. So the pro-Palestinian types, they are doing what we suspected they would. We suspected they would get violent. That they're terrorists in training, starting with waving flags, interrupting some students, harassing some Jews, making some murderous claims. And now they have moved up to actual threats of murder against people in positions of political power that they don't agree with. That's a terrorist. Now, literally, what do they expect? The administrators, the staff, the school trustees or school boards, what do they expect these guys to do to satisfy them? Well, they expect them to resign, folks. Understand that's what they expect. They expect people to, give in all they can and then resign. They want themselves in positions of power and authority within the country, the same way these terrorists have taken over political positions in small towns that they've overrun. They want the American candidates in political races to resign, to quit, to give in, to not try, to not even campaign against them. Because, racism and white privilege. They want to do the same with school boards. This is how they got DEI in, folks, diversity, equity, inclusion. This is how they got critical race theory, because people were like, you know what? It's not worth the fucking fight. I'll just do something else. And they leave. And so, folks, good people have left college institutions and positions of political power. I had that conversation over the weekend, like I said, described the situation, speaking with Republican people. They're like, you know what? It's not worth it. You spend all that time and money just to get put down, destroyed, attacked. Why bother with it? Well, the political power. If you're a decent, honest person, you're not there to enrich yourself. So you don't see the value that terrorists see in pushing people to resign and quit at universities, or to actually carry through with the violence. And that's the other part that is extremely real. Extremely real. Is these threats to behead school administrators is real. They just haven't got that violent yet, but now they are threatening the violence. They have been arresting some of these various random punks for shooting their lips off, where their faces could be seen. Because, they are coward terrorists. Are you ready with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and your means of self-defense. Are you ready for what's coming? Because it is. We may have been wrong saying that they wouldn't get this crazy. Well, but then again, we were predicting it all along. We just weren't patient enough. Well, the terrorists are showing their true colors. Let's see what comes next.